Hey guys, alright, we're going to continue with Unit 11. We're going to step up factoring trinomials just a little bit. If you noticed last week's video, when I had the starting slide, it just said x squared plus bx plus c. All the trinomials that we factored last week were just a single 1x squared. So every time you factored, it was just how do you split x squared with an x and an x. So today we're going to step it up, and you'll notice that there is an a in front, meaning this is now fixing to be a number. So x squared is going to have a coefficient with it. So you'll no longer just see a plain x squared here. So let's get started, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So first one we're going to work, if you'll notice, it doesn't say x squared in the front, it says 6x squared. Okay, and then it says plus 11x and plus 4. So this one has just a little bit of an extra step to it because now we have a number in the front that we need to split. We're still going to use little smile, big smile like we did last week to check to make sure that we did it right, and the graphic organizer that we did still applies here. So if you notice, there's two plus signs, so you would still work it the same way as the two plus signs from last week's video. So if you still have that graphic organizer, get it out. It can help you with this as well. So let's get started. So we were used to only taking this back number and finding factors for it, but since we have a coefficient in the front this time, we have to do that with the number in the front. So I need numbers that multiply to get me 6. So that would be 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. And that's it. All right, I also need numbers that split to get me a 4. So 1 times 4 gets me 4, and 2 times 2. So those are my only options. So this time, I'm still going to end up with 2 binomials. But remember I told you that you need to have a really good handy eraser by you for this lesson? The eraser will definitely be your friend for lesson 3 because everybody's going to mess up. You're going to have to erase several times. You may even erase holes in your paper. Just know that that's normal. That's what you're supposed to do. That's why we have little smile, big smile to check to make sure that we're getting it right. So I've already got all my factors for 6. Already got all my factors for 4. So we're just going to plug them in. We're just going to pick. It's basically an educated guess. So I want to try 2 and 3. So remember, you're splitting 6x squared. So not only do I have to split the 6 with the 2 and the 3, but I have to split the x squared with an x and an x, same as last week. So I'm going to split 6x squared with a 2x and a 3x. Basically, if I multiplied those two together, it gave me 6x squared. Okay, and I want to pick, let's do 2 and 2. So 2 and 2. Notice this is just a 4. It is not a 4x squared, so I only have a 2 and a 2. Okay, same as last week. Rules apply here. If your second sign is positive, that means these two signs will be the same. You look to the front to see what that sign is going to be. So they are both going to be a plus sign. Okay, so let's do little smile, big smile to see if we were correct. So here we go. Little smile, 2 times 3x is 6x. Big smile, 2x times 2 is 4x. And then if I combine those two together, 6x plus 4x makes 10x. So let's look. Was I supposed to get a 10x? The answer is no. I was supposed to get an 11x. So, eraser. All right, so that means we have to try other things. So just because I've already tried 2 and 3 doesn't mean he's out of the woods yet, because I tried 2 and 2 earlier, but I still have a 1 and a 4. So let's keep the 2 and the 3, but this time let's try the 1 and the 4. We'll see how that works. So I'll put a 1 in here, a 4 here. Second sign's positive. They will be the same as the 1 in the front. So plus, plus. Okay, so let's try little smile, big smile over again. Little smile, 1 times 3x is 3x. Big smile, 2x times 4 is 8x. Add those together, 3x plus 8x equals 11x. Boom, which is exactly what you were supposed to have. So we know that that is our final answer. 2x plus 1, 3x plus 4. Alrighty. Just a heads up, if this would not have worked, meaning I tried the 1 and the 4, I tried the 2 and the 2, that means the 2 and the 3 were wrong, and then I would have tried 1 and 6 and one of these. So just heads up. There are several different ways that you can get these. That's why we have a really good eraser. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So I need factors for 3. Only thing that multiplies to get me a 3 is a 1 and a 3. So that's really good. That's really what you like because you only have one option there. All right, let's talk about the 8. I can do 1 times 8, 2 times 4, and that's all the factors. Set up my template for my 2 binomials. All right, so I only have one option for 3x squared. So I know I'm going to have to use 1 and 3. So I split 3x squared with a 1x and a 3x. So that's your only option for 3, so those cannot be erased because you don't have any other factors for 3x squared. But I have some options for the 8, so we'll just pick one. Let's try 2 and 4. So I want to do 4 here and 2 here. So let's see how that works. So signs, if the second sign is negative, these will be different. These will be different. So we'll just put a plus here and a minus here. All right, so let's see how we did. Little smile gets me 4 times 3, that's 12x. Big smile gets me x times negative 2 is negative 2x. If I combine those together, 12 minus 2 gets me 10x. So, no. I was supposed to get negative 2, so let's back this up. Okay, instead of 4 and 2, let's try 2 and 4. So notice I didn't completely scratch them out yet, I just flipped them around. Instead of 4 and 2, 2 and 4. Okay, my signs, this sign means they're going to be different. So we'll do plus here, minus here. Okay, let's check it now. All right, little smile, negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Big smile, x times 4 is 4x. Combine those together, negative 6 and a 4 makes a negative 2. Ooh, that's exactly what I needed. So there you go. That's how you know your answer is x minus 2, 3x plus 4. Okay. All right, next up we have 3x squared. So again, 3 is a really easy one because it can only be split with a 1 and a 3. All right, so let's try 16. 16 bumps it up a little bit. So that's a 1 times 16, 2 times 8, 3 doesn't go into 16, 4 does, 4 times 4. So that's all of your options there. Okay, make my template, 2 binomials. I only have one option for 3x squared, so you know you're going to have to use x and 3x. All right, so we got several options over here. Let's see. My goal is to try to get negative 16. That's what I want. Let's try 2 and 8. I'm going to try 2 and 8. All right, second sign is positive. That means these signs will be the same. You look to the one in the front to see what that's going to be. So these are both going to be minuses this time. Okay, so let's try it out. Little smile is negative 6x. Big smile is negative 8x. Ooh, I don't think that's negative 16. Negative 8, negative 6. No, negative 14. All right, so that didn't work. Erase. Okay. 2 and 8. Let's try 4 and 4. We'll see if that works. So 4, 4. We already said earlier that this sign means they're going to be the same. You look to the front, so they're both negative. All right, here we go. Little smile is negative 12x. Big smile, negative 4x. Combine those together. There you go. You get negative 16x. So your final answer is x plus 4, 3. Oh, sorry, x minus 4, 3x minus 4. There you go. Okay. 3 only splits into 1 and a 3. 4 splits into 1 and 4, 2 and 2. All right, little smile. Oh, sorry, template. I can only do 3 in and in. All right, so we have some options for the 4. Let's do 1 and 4. So we're going to do 1 here, 4 here. Okay, signs. This sign is negative. That means these guys are going to be different. They're going to be different. So we'll put plus here, minus here, and we'll try it and see if that's right. Okay, so our goal is to get 11n. So let's see how we did. Little smile is 1n. Big smile is negative 12n. 1n and negative 12n makes negative 11n. Ooh. I'm super close. I was supposed to get a positive 11 and I got a negative 11. So what does that mean? What if this one had been negative and this one would have been positive? Okay, so what that means is I got my sign backwards. I got the right numbers, but instead of it being plus minus, this one needed to be the minus and this needs to be the plus. So now let's try little smile, big smile. So little smile, negative 1n, and big smile, 12n. Perfect. That gets me a positive 11n. So if you're working little smile, big smile, and you get the right number, just the wrong sign, don't erase any of your answers, just erase your signs, and then you'll get the right one. Okay, so number 5 is stepping up a little bit, because if you'll notice, there's a negative in the front. Okay, so back in the first lesson of Unit 11, we factored out GCFs, which were greatest common factors. That's what's going to happen on number 5. We have got to factor out a negative 1 because this guy in the front cannot be negative. So remember, to take out a GCF, you divide. So my GCF is negative 1. I have to divide every single one of these by negative 1. So negative 2x squared divided by negative 1 is just positive 2x squared. Negative 5x divided by negative 1 is just positive 5x. And negative 3 divided by negative 1 is a positive 3. Okay, now we can start factoring like we've been doing. So here we go. And all you're going to do with this little negative out front is you're just going to keep him. So like when you do your template, just have a little negative sitting out there. Okay, so let's do our factors. So factors of 2, 1 and 2. Factors of 3, 1 and 3. Well, that's simple. Okay, so let's try. So you know you're going to have to use 1 and 2 for 2x squared. So that would be an x and a 2x. And then you know you're going to have to use 1 and 3, but the trick is it 1 and 3 or is it 3 and 1? So you have to make sure you put those in the right order. So that's why I use little small, big small. So let's do 1 and 3, see if that works. Okay, so this sign is positive, which means these will be the same. You look to the front to see what that is. So these are both going to be a positive. So let's see if we were right. So little smile is 2x. Big smile, x times 3 is 3x. Combine those together, you get 5x. Yes. Notice that I'm looking at this one and not the original because I edited the original. I factored out a GCF, so I'm not looking at the original anymore. I'm looking at the edited one. So this is your final answer, but don't forget your little negative out front. So negative x plus 1, 2x plus 3. Ooh. There you go. All right, last one. And if you'll notice, you have a negative out front. So my first step is going to be just like number 5. I need to factor out a GCF of negative 1. So you put your negative 1 out front. And then to take out a GCF, we divide. So if this one, negative 6x squared divided by negative 1 is just positive. Negative 17x is just positive. And negative 12 is just positive. Okay, so now let's get to factoring. So again, keep your little negative out front in your template. Okay, factors of 6. 1 and 6, 2 and 3. And then factors of 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Oh, we got a lot of options on this one. So let's just, let's try 2 and 3. So to split 6x squared, you have 2x and 3x. And then let's try 3 and 4. So 3 here, 4 here. We'll see if that works. Okay, so sign is a positive. That means these will be the same. You look to the front, so they're both going to be positive. All right, let's try it out. Little smile. 3 times 3x is 9x. Big smile. 2x times 4 is 8x. Add those together, you get 17x. Final answer. Oops.